massive intensity in the first game, and I sort of thought their size and their power in this game will be too much of a match for a Blues side that had been pushed together with lots of changes. But whatever Fittler had done in the build up to this game, he got an intensity out of this side. They were so quick, so quick, and Queensland just couldn't keep up with it in really wet conditions at Perth. They played like it wasn't pissing it down the whole game, and they got just rewards for it. I mean, they were throwing 20-30 metre passes in their own half, like, to set up attacks and find space. It was brilliant stuff from the Blues, you've got to credit me. And it means that the series now goes to a decider in Sydney on the 10th of July. So that's very exciting. There were some other games as well, some international games, Sarah. Do you want to take us through the scores of those?
So it finished New Zealand 34, Tonga 14, Fiji 58, Lebanon 14, and Samoa 24, Papua New Guinea 6.
And also, some other ones that I caught up with today that I've slipped into my version of the rundown was the World Cup qualifier, Cook Islands versus South Africa. Unsurprisingly, it went the way of the Cook Islanders, 66 points to 6. And Jamaica played the USA, which I didn't even know was happening this weekend.
No.
26-24 in that one. There was a women's origin as well, which was played, and New South Wales won that one as well, and I think it was a closer affair. I'll just get that one up in front of me. That one was 14-4 to the Blues in that game. I don't know if we have anything on the women's international game that was played this weekend. I can't find anything in the League Express on that one, unfortunately. So I'm sorry, I can't tell us what happened there. That is other results, though, well and truly covered. So, good stuff. We're going to now make our predictions for round 20 of Super League. Right, round 20 predictions, Sarah. And I couldn't do it. I said before that I'll go with the ones that I want to be the results, but I don't feel like I can do it. But we'll pick out the ones where when I'm going to regret that which way I went or not. But we start on Thursday night, 7:45 p.m. Sky game. We've got the bottom side, but who've had a week's rest, versus the third place side, but they've had a trip from France to contend with for this short turnaround. Or is it really just the derby, and do we need to worry about where they are in the table and what form has been happening?
Hull went to Bridlington for the day today, apparently.
All right.
And a nice little day on the seaside.
Get some sea air in the lungs to...
Yeah. I think there's some sort of cryotherapy chamber there as well. Either that or they just fancied, donuts.
I don't know. There's a lot of people there who look like they're ready to be cryogenically spoiled.
Yep.
Cryogenic centre or end-of-life care centre.
Obviously, I've gone for Hull to win. And it's one of these, it could be a 1-point win, it could be a 40-point win. It's really hard to judge.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is. Do you know what? You've stopped being... If you count the cup game, it's 4 games in a row now where you've been pretty emphatic and pretty good. So maybe some of the Jekyll and Hyde's gone, and that's why I'm going to pick you, even though this is one of the ones where I actually want the other team to win. And I want the Rovers to win because I want the bottom to be super duper exciting, and also I want to keep you sort of in reach if we're dreaming big at Wigan. But I'm going to go with FC. And I'm going to go with FC by, let's say, 16.
I've gone by 12 in the end.
Excellent stuff. I'm sure it'll be exciting, as most Hull derbies are anyway. Right, Friday, 7:45 p.m. Wakefield versus Huddersfield. Two of the sides that are plundering their way to the wrong end of the table as things stand. Crucial game.
Really is.
I'll let you go first on this one.
I have gone for Huddersfield by 6.
Yeah,
because you can't pick that they're both going to lose.
No. Wakefield, I think, will have some more people back, but Huddersfield are starting to look like they might get someone back, like Leroy Cudjoe, a big influence maybe. You never know, but yeah. It's hard. It's hard to pick this game because I didn't see tons from Huddersfield, but I've not seen a lot from Wakefield either recently to suggest that they're going to be sorting out their slump either. And so I'm going for Huddersfield by virtue of the fact that they're just slightly further behind Wigan than Wakefield are at the moment. So
See, you're doing it. You're doing it.
I'm doing it on that one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one I couldn't do it on because there's no outcome that I prefer, I don't think. But this is a Sky game, the top two. Probably one of those unanticipated games between teams at the top of the table because 4th to 12th is so exciting in this year's competition. But it's Warrington versus St Helens. The plane was out. We know when it is. 7:45 on Sky next Friday. I'm going to go Saints.
Yeah.
I just think they're just a bit better than Warrington at the moment and capable of sustaining themselves in a match more than Warrington are at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. And I think as well, given that Coote had a poor game last week and generally Saints weren't quite as at the races, I think that they will improve.
Yep. Okay. Final game on Friday. Then we've got 3 on Friday this time. And the final one is the game I talked about earlier where Wigan are having Armed Forces Day. It's Wigan versus Salford. And Fan Village opens, I believe, at 5:45. I understand there's going to be a stage, maybe some players getting interviewed, maybe a bit of music, food and drink, and some tanks and stuff.
Cool.
So that's exciting. I don't know if they're actually going to be tanks. Military vehicles is what I've been told, but hopefully that's something for everyone to get down to and enjoy at the DW Stadium. And I predict that we will enjoy a Wigan win. I'm a bit nervous about this one because it could see us rise as high as 4th after the weekend, which would be phenomenal given the first 2 months of the season. I'm going to go Wigan by 10.
Ooh, I've changed my mind. Salford.
I hope you regret that.
I went from Salford to Wigan and now I've gone back to Salford. I think Hastings will be trying to impress his new employers.
Yeah, we'll see for sure. I'm sure Bibby will have a big game. But, Wigan will have Dan Sargentson, who apparently is going to be at Salford next year, so he'll want to impress them too, I'm sure. Right, on to Sunday. I think we've got these written down the opposite way around, but I'm going to go the 3 p.m. kickoff first, which is Leeds versus Catalans. I'm going to go kickoff time over alphabetical, I think. So I'm going to say, I think Leeds will win this one. I just can't understand where Catalans are at the moment. I don't know what has happened there. I feel like there's a heavier level of soul searching that needs, because I just think Saints maybe gave Leeds the chance to feel good about themselves by not absolutely butchering them in that second half, and so I'm going Leeds.
Okay.
Leeds by not many in a scrappy, miserable game.
I'm going to go for Catalans.
Okay.
Because I am.
No justification. You did watch them last week.
Yeah.
Sunday 3:30 p.m. then, final game of the weekend, Castleford versus London. Castleford, a side who are in pretty ropey form but on their home field. London, a side who are in fantastic form, arguably the form side in Super League alongside Wigan and Hull. But if you extend it out, I think they're 4 in 5 in the league, London. I'm going to go Cast, though. I just can't see this London side keeping it going forever. I don't want to be the naysayer, and I do want it to be exciting at the bottom, but this would put 3 teams back on the same amount of points. In fact, 4, because Huddersfield will win. 3 teams on the same amount of points. That makes it exciting. So I'm going Castleford. Even though I don't want them to win, I want London to win.
London.
I hope you're right.
So do I.
Excellent. Any justification?
Castleford are rubbish, aren't they, at the minute?
They're not great.
Half of me does think probably Castleford will do it, but, I'm going to back London.
Okay, championship game of the week, Sheffield versus Lee. That's 2 teams going for the top spots. Sheffield had a great start to the season. Lee are in pretty good form at the moment. So probably Lee will win that one, will they?
Yeah, I'm going for Lee.
We need to cover the the Sundex.
AB Sundex.
That's this midweek, isn't it? So we've got
Doncaster against Sheffield.
Oh, Derby. Doncaster playing Sheffield in Featherstone. What is that about? Anyway, Lee versus Barrow, and Lee will win that one. Widnes versus Dewsbury, you'd expect Widnes to win that one. And York versus Batley. They're all being played on Wednesday night, and I think York Batley's on the R-League app, so something for us to watch.
Yeah.
League One game of the week, Coventry versus Doncaster. And I've picked this one because I also think this is on the R-League app, which means we'll get to see the wide butt live, and we'll get to hear, hopefully, some tannoy announcements from our friend Tim.
Oh, that'll be exciting.
So I'm hoping that's the case. This is when he'll message us to say, no, I have to do cricket things, so I'm not doing that game.
Or there'll be a problem with the sound.
Yeah, but that's on Saturday at 3 o'clock on the R-League app, that one. And we can all judge his playlist. The Women's Super League game of the week, Bradford versus Leeds. It's always a hotly contested game. So that should be an interesting one to watch. And then in the NRL, we've got West Tigers versus the Rabbitohs on Thursday at 10:50 a.m. Friday at 9 a.m, Cowboys versus the Dragons. Now, Graham and Widdop won't be playing. They're both still injured, but it'd be interesting to see how they get on without him. Friday, 10:55 a.m, Roosters versus Storm. And Saturday, 10:35 a.m, the Eels versus the Raiders. And then soon, we'll be adding the Titans games to the NRL Brit Picks list as well.
Yes.
So excellent. So please do get your fan reviews in on the Google form for next week's games after you watch them all. Those matches will be up there for you to comment on. And any other match that you go to, watch, follow, listen on the radio, or have a strong opinion on what you see or hear from those games, send your match reviews in and we will talk about them all on next week's Super League pod. But for this week, all that's left is to wrap things up with a quiz. So, Sarah, I called out the SOS. I was struggling to find time to think of a quiz for you this week, so I asked you to think of one for me instead. So I'm prepared to be tested. I hope you haven't had your dad help you, because when your dad helps you, I feel like he wants to make it way too hard on purpose.
No, he didn't help me, although he did say, oh, I do like it, that sort of quiz. So,
oh, good.
So I'm going back to the roots almost of SLP quizzes.
Excellent.
I was going to do a birthday one, but then I looked and there weren't any very interesting birthdays this week. So I've gone one stage later than the birthday quizzes, and I've gone for name that player from their Twitter bio.
Ooh, good.
So I've actually got 4 for you.
Okay.
So the first one is Gold Coast boy, born and raised, living my dream as a professional rugby league player with Castleford Tigers.
Gold Coast boy, born and raised at Cass. I'm trying to think of what Cass overseas players they've got that aren't like Islanders, because they always end up having something religious in their bios.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go
Islander.
with Grant Millington.
No.
Then it was Chase Blair.
Nope.
How many overseas players have they got? Mitch Clark.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Jordan Rankin.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. So the next one is player for Catalan Dragons and qualified quantity surveyor.
Oh.
Leeds boy living in Sud de France.
Jodie Broughton.
Well done.
Fastest quantity surveyor in the world.
The next one is a professional rugby league player for St Helens, a part-time rugby player, a full-time good guy.
Who would call themselves a full-time good guy? See, I feel like old Rubber Chops LMS would have more to say about himself than that, but so I'm kind of ruling him out, even though I'm trying to think of another one of them who would put themselves forward as Tommy Makinson.
No.
I don't know then. That was my guess.
Alex Walmsley.
Oh, Alex Walmsley. Yeah, he does seem like a good guy. I'll give him that. He does
Yeah,
seem
I was
like a good
surprised
guy.
by his